Hello and welcome back, and good Wednesday to you. And boy, do I mean that, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We knew we had one more coming, and we've still got some nice days in the forecast. The low point of which, as far as your weather is concerned, will be your pre-Easter weekend, the weekend before the Easter holiday, because a lot of folks are planning some Easter egg hunts, one of which I have some big news on tonight, and one of which they're hoping for a little favorable weather on this Sunday. The weekend will be the two coolest days of the forecast in the mid and maybe upper 40s. We'll talk about precipitation chances for your weekend and elsewhere in your forecast in just a few moments, as it has been updated in the past hour and certainly 24 hours since I saw you last. So in addition to that, we'll also talk about some news just in and still being chased down in regards to what appears to be the postponement of work being done on the Tip-Top Tunnel. And of course, I've been for weeks now trying to get access to the tunnel and get some video and pictures to bring back to you. And so far, the construction company in charge has not allowed that, and state officials are working on that for me, but we haven't heard back anything for quite some time. But today, I have some information that due to some developments there in the tunnel, they've called off construction for the foreseeable future. I'll tell you what I know on that front in just a second. And the latest court records and details that we have into the ongoing FBI investigation into vote buying here in McGoffin County. And specifically, we'll talk about two of the individuals in that case, more information on one who has pled guilty to a lesser and misdemeanor charge, but we do have more dates pertaining to that. And also, it appears as though one of the other 5 defendants in the case, there's been developments there as she has been hospitalized. We'll tell you what we know at this hour in just a few moments. Also, I have a camera at this time at the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting. Also, several items on that agenda. One of those items was to be discussion of the library board. We have a camera there. We may have some information on that meeting before I leave you. I've got 2 other local governmental meetings that will start airing tomorrow, if not tonight, and those are the Paintsville City Council and Johnson County Fiscal Court as well. A lot of news to cover, and I've already got some other big reports set for this weekend, some interviews as well. So be sure to stay with us. Even myself at this point never knows what's going to be included in this or any other program to some degree. With that said, Kentucky's Attorney General Andy Beshear today formally announced that his office has officially opened up an investigation into the illegal dumping of the out-of-state radioactive oil and gas drilling waste that found its way to the tune of hundreds or thousands of tons into 2 Kentucky landfills in Estill and Greenup counties. The landfill that got the worst, or the most dangerous, potentially dangerous waste, I should say, has been identified as one being in Estill County. Beshear said, quote, in a statement that was issued to the press, protecting Kentucky families is my top priority, so I'm particularly troubled that the Blue Ridge landfill in Irvine, allegedly containing these hazardous materials, is located across the road from 2 schools. He also went on to say in that release that to the concerned parents in the community, I promise we're giving this investigation our full attention as we share your concerns. While state and some local officials have both agreed that there is no risk to any students at this time or any other time at the Estill County High School as well as the middle school in Estill County, they have, as well as others, shown concern about the potential exposure to what may have been several workers in those landfills and anyone else who may have been in contact with the waste or debris at the landfill or elsewhere that was brought into the dump last year. State officials, meanwhile, have also said they're investigating whether or not there was any dumping possibly that took place in any other landfills across the state of Kentucky, from counties in the oil fields, oil and gas fields of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, where hydraulic fracturing was used. Also, the Health Cabinet on March the 4th, earlier this month, sent a letter claiming that the Morgan County, Kentucky business BES LLC of West Liberty, doing business as Advanced Tenorm Services, imported, collected, transported, or deposited radioactive oil and gas drilling waste in several Kentucky counties since at least June of 2015. The Kentucky Division of Waste Management also has chimed in, saying that this was earlier this month, that the radioactive waste from the brine and from the rock and earth that's brought to the surface during that process of drilling for oil and gas was brought into Kentucky against state law, just against state law, period. And that waste was sent to Estill County in a concentrated form, and that is what increased its radioactive intensity. As far as how much was brought into the state, numbers are coming in anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 tons at the Blue Ridge landfill in Irvine alone. Well, I've got other news pending and rendering, so we'll start off with some good news and a wonderful interview with a couple of folks telling me about an Easter egg hunt this Sunday, knock on wood. I think the weather's going to let them squeeze it in. And this is not just a church event, but a community event. And it was also an opportunity to introduce one of the newest pastors in Magoffin County at the Prater United Methodist Church. A fixture of the downtown landscape and the community as a whole since 1925, the Prater United Methodist Church is sending out a special invitation to join them for what is a community-wide Easter egg hunt this Sunday. Their new pastor and member, Kathy Sparks, who introduced him, gives us all the details and a special invitation.
This is our new pastor, Andrew Donner, and he has been with us since June
the 7th. It was my first Sunday.
And he's new to our community.
Originally from Florence, Kentucky. I graduated from Moorhead last May, so it'll be a year that I've been out of undergrad. Start seminary this fall. I'm just trying to fulfill the calling that the Lord's placed in my life to be a pastor, and it led me from a small country church in Nicholas County to here, and we're just looking forward to seeing what we can do for the Lord.
And one way of doing just that is through outreach, in this particular instance through an Easter egg hunt to be held this Sunday in the Ramey Memorial Park just across the way.
Well, first of all, we're praying that the weather forecast is not correct, but we're hoping for a good sunny day. And with that in mind, we're going to be having the Easter egg hunt at Ramey Park. We have 3 different hunts scheduled for three different age groups, one for 3 and under, one from 4 to 7-year-olds, and one from 8 to 10-year-olds. We have prizes for every age group. Some of our prizes have been donated by the seasonal shop across the street from us here. A lot of them have been purchased with donations from our congregation. Every egg that will be found on Sunday has a prize in it of some sort. So there will be no eggs that are just empty and not filled with some kind of fun prize in them. Our church really wanted to do something as an outreach to our community, and that's why we have chosen to make it a community-wide Easter egg hunt rather than just church-wide. We wanted to have an opportunity to share with kids in the community the fun of the day and the blessings of the Lord. We'll have refreshments for them, pizza and soft drinks, and every kid will go home with something. Whether it just be eggs and prizes in their Easter baskets, or if they win a big prize, but they'll also have a full tummy, hopefully, and have had lots of fun.
And to add on to the Easter egg hunt, we're going to have a registration table set up. That way we can keep track about how many people we've had, so we can follow up and make contact with you all, so we can have a personal invite to church. And speaking of that, we'd love to welcome you to our beautiful sanctuary on Sunday morning before the Easter egg hunt, and then hang out with us for a little bit afterwards, maybe go to lunch, and then we'll meet all back over at the park and hunt some eggs. And then obviously please join us for Easter service the following Sunday as we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior.
And they knew with such an invitation maybe becoming a huge undertaking with so many kids, they've enlisted the help because of such from the International Order of the Rainbow. Those ladies will be assisting them as well. It is this Sunday, 3 to 5 in the Ramey Memorial Park, ages 3 and under, 4 to 7, and 8 to 10. I'll be right back. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. Court documents filed as recently as today shed some more light on the ongoing investigation into vote buying and election fraud here in Magoffin County, specifically related to 2 of the 5 defendants. As I had reported to you in part late last week, the federal government and Scotty Lynn McCarty had reached a plea agreement to which he would plead guilty to 1 charge, the government agreeing per his plea agreement to drop 2 of the 3 prior charges against him, those being felony charges. He would now plead guilty to 1 misdemeanor count as it pertained to the election. In doing so, court documents further spell out that he was charged with events that took place pertaining to the May primary back in 2014, when he was accused of and has since admitted to going into a voting booth with a female from Magoffin County to make sure that she voted for certain candidates. While those specific candidates were not listed in this most recent document, the superseding indictment to which Carty is attached with several other individuals did list those candidates as Judge Charles Hardin, Gary Rooster Reisner, Magistrate, and Clerk Renee Arnett Shepard. He will also officially plead during sentencing to, after the voting process took place, that he would direct that individual, or did direct that female, to another person that he knew would pay for her vote. Per this plea agreement, McCarty has waived the right to appeal the guilty plea, conviction, and sentence. It's also understood that if he violates any part of this agreement, the United States can void his agreement and seek indictment for any violations of federal laws. With his official sentencing set for Monday, May the 16th, to take place at the federal courthouse in Pikeville at 11:30 that morning. While the cases of Gary Rooster Reisner, Magistrate Reisner, that is, as well as Mason Daniels, and Larry Shepard are all the same as last report, with all at last report pleading not guilty to the charges against them. The case of Tammy Jo Reisner is still in question. The most recent court records were filed just today on behalf of her attorneys, who were requesting additional time. According to court documents that I have before me, her counsel was moving to the court to continue the competency hearing and arraignment that was set for this coming Monday. Her attorney saying that they have not received a copy of the competency evaluation as of yet, and they were informed that that information wouldn't be made available to them until this Saturday. Therefore, they were requesting an additional 3 to 4 or few days, it says, to review that information, requesting that they be able to go over that information and that she be arraigned afterwards sometime later this month. However, we have learned that per an unrelated matter, Reisner has now been hospitalized. We've learned that local authorities in Sagersville responded to a call yesterday afternoon, and that victim was later identified by family as Tammy Reisner.
Yesterday, 911 received an anonymous call of a possible OD at College Heights Apartment. Myself and SO Unit Neil Adams responded to the scene and found a lady that was unresponsive, and we called her an ambulance, and they transported her to Paul B. Hall. They was a couple of people at the apartment where she was at. We talked to them, and as far as we know, she'd went to the doctor prior and don't know what she had taken. So we went ahead and called the ambulance, and the ambulance transferred her.
While the Sagersville police couldn't confirm the identity of the victim or the subject of that investigation and incident, we have confirmed through family that indeed it was Tammy Jo Reisner, who was taken to the Paul B. Hall Medical Center, but later transferred to another facility where we are told she is still in critical condition. Also did confirm today that those previous charges against McCarty still stand. That case is still open, and his name is still attached. He is still charged alongside Magistrate Gary Rooster Reisner, as well as Tammy Reisner and Mason Daniels and Larry Shepard, husband of Renee Arnett Shepard. However, per that plea agreement that McCarty has entered into with federal authorities, after he is officially sentenced in May, and if he does not violate that plea agreement to any form or fashion, the federal government has agreed to drop all of those other charges. Also need to make mention that in addition to the plea agreement, a portion of which I just showed you, there was also a sealed supplemental plea agreement attached to the case, which of course we were unable to see and have no idea or information what was contained therein. With that said, it's time for our community calendar announcements. A reminder or two on the calendar, but first, you know I like birthdays. It starts off, that is your Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, starts off with this, it says belated birthday wish. A happy belated 73rd, it says, to James Arnett, with a whole lot of love from a whole lot of family and a whole lot of friends, James. Happy 73rd, and maybe a day or two to you. Happy birthday, James Arnett. A reminder, applications are available for the litter abatement program in McGoffin County. It's a first-come, first-served basis. Funds will only go as long as they can allow, of course. So if your group or organization wants to pick up some litter throughout McGoffin County for some cash for your respective cause and organization, contact the judge's office in McGoffin County, 349-2213. And remember, they're requesting volunteers to be at South McGoffin Elementary to clean up before the big Civil War Day festival coming up there around that time. They ask that you be there by 9 o'clock that morning to help volunteer a little time to clean up before all the company comes. A reminder that the next McGoffin County Cancer Support Group meeting is to be held this Thursday. That's tomorrow evening at 6 in their meeting room in the back of the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center. And that the McGoffin County Retired Teachers Association will meet next Tuesday morning at 11 at Betty's Pizza, with all retired teachers encouraged to attend. And as always, we encourage you to use our community calendar, birthdays, anniversaries, or organizational or group announcements. It's free, and we'll tell everyone about it. All you have to do is tell us. And lastly, this evening, a reminder of services to be held this Friday for Harrison Bo Gamble, 68 of Sugar Camp Road, who passed away on the 14th, the son of the late Sherman and Elizabeth Gamble. He's survived by brothers Kermit Mitchell, Kenneth, Herbert, Mason, and Eldon. Visitation is after 5 o'clock this evening, all day tomorrow, and prior to Friday's services, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home Chapel. As I referred to at the top of the hour, I have called into state officials with the Transportation Cabinet and elsewhere trying to get some clearance to go and take a camera and get up to date on the progress of the Tip Top Tunnel revitalization, or the remodeling thereof, of course, after the fire and the cave-in that, of course, has kept it closed for years. And then after the Bashir administration basically put money into the project and the Dawkins Rail to Trail program, and seeing the tunnel completed and back open was a portion of that project. We've been anxiously awaiting its opening, as well as a little prior to getting a look at the work that's been ongoing. We haven't received any word of being allowed in the area by the contractors as of yet. But I have learned today by some folks close to the situation and construction thereof, who spoke to us, if you will, on condition of anonymity, that construction as of this week, it appears as though, maybe as recent as yesterday, as today, has been halted on the tunnel, pending what appears to be an unstable situation. Anyone who's ever interested in the history of the Tip Top area, or so much that goes with that, or any of the progress that's being made in the Dawkins Trail or the tunnel, well, more than likely you already know Adam Mans. And through his Facebook page, well, that's my go-to, because he keeps it up to date in pictures like this one and so many more on a regular basis. So we're certainly thankful for that. And it's with his pictures here that I can provide the following information. The information not coming from Mans, let me certify that and clarify that before we go any further, but coming from another source. We just have his pictures for the background. But we have learned that they have called off all progress and all work and put the status on hold for the time being, for the foreseeable future. From what we understand, the last report I had coming from the area with someone, an eyewitness from the area, was that they were past the halfway mark of the tunnel and then bearing down on the Breathitt County side. They are basically going in and constructing a new shell that will, of course, keep all the rock and earth from falling down and give the support to the tunnel as it once had before it was set on fire years ago. But from what I understand, there has been some rock that has become loose falling into the netting that they have taken measures to try to shore that up. However, from what I'm told, those measures did not or were not successful. So as of right now, they've placed all the work on hold. They are waiting for the situation to be analyzed. I think they are consulting other entities on the state level and possibly others before they proceed any further. But all we can say for certainty right now is that work in progress has come to a standstill and placed on hold for the safety of all those involved while they try to assess the situation and see how they'll be able to proceed from here. And I'm still hoping to be on site firsthand sometime and bring you some more information at some point. A camera just returning to the newsroom from the Montgomery County Fiscal Court meeting from earlier this afternoon. Several items were on the agenda. One, of course, which we had flagged was discussion, as it was listed, of the Montgomery County Library Board, following up, of course, on the report of the last vote held by the Library Board, where certain members thereof to tear down yet once again the old Sagersville First Baptist Church building. There was some developments, and as I understand, some comments made by Judge Harden, maybe others. However, that is completely unedited, and that is something that I will be doing over the course of this evening and tomorrow, as well as bring you coverage of the Paintsville City Council and Johnson County Fiscal Courts tomorrow, at least in part as well. And a host of other news we are working on, indeed some other stories set to take place for the rest of this week. With all of that said, here's wrapping it up on another beautiful evening. The quicker I can get you out of here, and myself, the quicker we might get to take in a little more of a beautiful Wednesday, the end of which at least, because we're not going to have any more evenings like this in the forecast at least. And for the weekend, things are looking a little gray and cool. Your Licking Valley RECC forecast paints a picture of 45 degrees tonight. I'm holding at 73 here after the 6 o'clock hour. Partly cloudy skies. West wind. I tell you what, the winds have been consistent, haven't they? Tonight I expect to see more winds out of the west, 5 to 14, 20 mile per hour gusts at times. They, of course, will start to calm down as the night continues to settle in. Tomorrow on your Thursday, 10 degrees off the mark from today roughly. Sunny, but still 65. I mean, still gorgeous, but still windy out of the west, 5 to 14 tomorrow, 22 mile per hour gusts expected on your Thursday. By Thursday night, partly cloudy, winds should calm down to about 5 to 8 still out of the west, and a nighttime low of 39. For your Friday, more sunshine. Temperatures take another hit to the tune of about 10 degrees, 54. West winds also still sticking around, and they are expected to be anywhere from 6 to maybe 8 or 10, with gusts upwards of 16 miles per hour at times on your Friday. And taking another 10-degree hit or so. That is mostly cloudy skies and 47 degrees on your Saturday. Yeah, 47, mostly cloudy on your Saturday, and a 33 nighttime low with 40% chances of showers, a 40% chance of showers, actually 30 during the day, but increasing throughout the evening on your Saturday. Sunday, 44, not as big of a drop, but the low to mid-40s expected, and 31, that's the low point temperature-wise of your forecast. Still mostly cloudy, and still a chance of some rain, maybe some snow showers on your Sunday, the Sunday before Easter Sunday, mind you. It's not unheard of for this part of the world. Monday, 49 and mostly sunny and partly cloudy. From there, we'll climb back to the 60s and upper 60s by midweek. That's it for now. That's my time. That's never all the news. We'll have more when we see you back here tomorrow night. For now, thank you for being a part of this show, and we hope to see you for the next one. Good night.